welcome Michelle Nolan to Seeking Center. We're so happy to have you here. I'm so happy to have you here where I'm playing my solo role without Robin. I think between the two of us, we can pull together the tarot forecast for the month. I know there's a lot to talk about, and I'm just happy to see you. So thanks for being.
Yeah, happy to see you too, Karen. It's always good to see your smiling face.
Oh,
You're
thank
you're a
you.
bright light.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay. April asked a lot of us. It pushed, it triggered, it made us look at things that we've probably been all trying to avoid. And whether we liked it or not, it moved us forward. But as we closed out the month, there was a shift, a softening, a moment to breathe, maybe even a little spark of hope. And now we're stepping into May. So the question is, what do we do with everything we just moved through? Our soul sister and intuitive tarot therapist, Michelle Nolan, is back to break it all down for us. And if April was about facing the fear and finding your footing, May is about what comes next. The movement, the momentum, the choices that start shaping this new chapter. So let's get into it.
I'm excited to see
Yes,
what's happening in May. I'll be honest, I cannot believe it's May.
I cannot either. I was
I
literally just
cannot believe it.
the speed of time just seems to be accelerated so much. And yet, I think for so many of us, we're feeling like the weight of the world on our shoulders in many ways. There's still a lot of those tests that are coming our way in the midst of this like forward momentum, which we know has been part of this 2026 energy. I'm right there with you. And I always say I love these conversations because it's like having a weather forecast, right? You're not exactly sure if it's going to rain or how much, but it'll kind of give you a gauge of what to expect and where you need the umbrellas.
Yeah, and I think it at least centers me too to just focus about the energy that's really available more than anything, and then what the purpose is of the energy for
Yeah,
this month. Just taking a temperature on it so that you can align with the appropriate energy that works.
I love that, the purpose of the energy, because yeah,
Hmm.
if you can understand the reasoning behind it and the potential of what it can help you through or move toward or learn, then
Hmm.
again, it's like the weather forecast. It's like, all right, it's going to have to rain, but at least we know that the plants are going to get watered and it's going to do some good, right?
So let's see. Very
Great.
curious what May is about. Just a little tiny recap so people kind of stay in line with every month that we've been talking. We ended April on the last forecast in a really actually big, beautiful way. It was about the total picture of abundance and being able to kind of see that in a very realistic, practical way of what those real big goals are and kind of putting that into place in a very grounded way. So if you remember, I mentioned something like we were kind of the board of directors
Yeah,
in April saying, okay, we're putting some solutions to the problem, not seeing it like a problem, seemingly more like an opportunity to create what we want.
I love that.
Okay. So let's see
Empowerment.
empowerment and thinking big, right?
Question
Thinking
before
big.
you pull the first card. Tell us about the deck that you picked.
This is called the Fountain. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. It's very precise. When I get this energy, it's very air energy to me. Even though we're in Taurus season, it's grounded, but we got a lot of Uranian energy going on in the month of May. So that's very changeable air energy. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the deck I pulled. I just kind of trust my intuition for it and we'll see.
I love
See
it.
what
Okay.
happens. Okay. So let's open the session. Spirit, please open the session for the Seeking Center community and for everyone else who is listening. And please give me clear and concise messages for what is you want to speak with everybody about today. And please allow everyone to have an open heart and an open mind to receive these messages. And we thank you for your guidance, protection, and connection today.
And I love just setting the context too. I know we do this all the time, but just remembering that as you're pulling these cards, they're universal, but then they're also very much personal. So looking at it as like this is kind of what can be interpreted overall, but also how you can interpret it in your own world.
Yes. And everyone has been saying lately, at least what I've heard, is that people say, God, it sounds like you're talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I am.
Yes.
I am talking to you. But, we are talking as a collective energy. So there's a vagueness to it to a certain degree. But, when our soul hears what it needs to hear and we apply it in the way that it's supposed to, it works, you know?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see for May. how we're coming in here. So, not surprising when I talked about air energy, even though, like I said, we are in Taurus, which is grounded, very grounded, practical earth energy. But we're coming in with this Knight of Swords energy, which is very swift, fast moving energy. Okay. That is air energy at its almost purest form. If we think of almost, I'm getting the sensation of moving at the speed of light. That's kind of the topic or the visual for it, if we kind of think that way. We can't even see it, right? We can't even see how fast things are moving. We can't even see how fast things are changing and upending and lifting. And like we're just in it and on it. So if we think that way and say, okay, that's just the speed that things are at right now, and we're just going to seize it.
Isn't it funny how we just came into this conversation just saying, how do we get here so fast? It's just like it's hearing us and saying, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely, that's where we are. So we're
Yeah.
just gonna
Fast
put that
is
in.
fast is fast.
Yeah.
So it is air energy in the sense that is very much about communication. It's very much about the mind. It's very much about the thinking, the activity of almost like decisions, very quick decisions, and just like moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving to the next thing. So it's very fast like that. It's almost like our mind is on hyperdrive. So it kind of feels like that because I think if we're coming off of that, the solutions were kind of set in April. So now we're in execution. We're not like thinking too much about it. And what I'm feeling with this Eight of Cups and the Two of Pentacles next to it, there is a swift feeling here of, well, first of all, we're juggling a lot. And I think the speed of things right now coming into May is forcing us to drop some things. It's forcing us. Like we can't even make the decision fast enough to choose what we're dropping. We're like, I can't even get to that thing that was on my list or on my plate, or, oh my God, I didn't even answer that text or that phone call. I can't even get to it. So now what's the purpose of that? The purpose of that energy really is refinement. If we think
Okay.
about that, right? We're refining our direction, our activity, our focus. And it's almost like the universe, spiritual energy is saying, I'm not even asking you to make the choice. One, I might be making that a little bit for you. That's kind of the universe's way. And two, we're running that new system that I've been talking about since the beginning of the year. That we have set an intuitive calculation, like this algorithm has been set in us now. If we've been really aligning to all the energies that have been happening in the right way, in the high vibrational way. And so our decisions are almost intuitive. They are not thought processes anymore. They're intuitive choices. So if we think about that, if we're letting some stuff go, right? If we're saying, oh, do I make this phone call and talk to this person, or do I answer my email? I know that's very like real world stuff, but we intuitively know the email is more important, right? We don't even have to question it. And that's kind of happening a lot in the beginning of May. It's their fast, intuitive choices that are so focused on where we're headed, like in the long term, that we're not even asking questions.
Wow. I like this idea about the universe helping us do that because I think for all of us, when we have so many things on our plates, we feel like we have to do it all and we have no choice.
Yes. And Teresian energy, which is really interesting, Teresian energy is a slower energy. Teresian energy is practical and it is intentional and it is deliberate. That's what's so beautiful about that Teresian energy. It can handle a lot because it is earth energy. So earth energy kind of is usually able to handle a very big workload, let's say, or tasks or anything that needs to get taken care of. But I think part of this energy is obviously here, but it's here beneath the surface. Like it's here in the way that says, the larger picture is I know what I need to get done. I know the bigger goal, right? We've analyzed it. So that Teresian energy is kind of saying, I'm allowing for kind of that doer step back and just let all of these fast moving changes and swift decisions just kind of take front and center. It's just movement at this point. So in the beginning of this month, I would encourage people to not stress about what they're not getting to. Don't say, oh, beat yourself up like, I forgot to call mom back. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, she's going to be pissed. That's not what this is about. What this is about is If things are falling off your radar, they're supposed to fall off your radar.
You're speaking to me, girl. I know this is for everyone, but
Right.
and it's helpful when you are feeling in this sense of overwhelm to feel like you have this partner, like the universe, who is helping you even in the midst of the madness, intuitively know how to weave through it and let those things go so it doesn't make you insane. I love calling in the universe as a partner as you're moving through it because it's the way to wean down the list, but it's also to really get where you absolutely need to go and not let all those other things distract you or overwhelm you.
And I'm talking about, I guess, these real world little tasks, right? Like that
Yeah.
kind of add up in your day,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about time because Teresian energy is also, I always view Taurus energy as kind of the mastery of time because Taurus have a very slow moving intentional energy and they kind of intuitively know what is a priority and what isn't. Okay. It's like more of an intuition and timing. They're usually really good with timing. So if that is kind of the current that's running underneath this all, then
Yep.
I would remind people to look at the bigger picture in the beginning of this month and say, what is the universe really doing with this energy for me? Right? What is it really doing? What it's really doing is making your focus, your goals, your life, your action more intentional. Whether you even decide it or not, it's making your focus come to view.
And helping you
And
clear the clutter, maybe.
yeah, and it's almost like a natural prioritizing. If we're not giving something attention, even if we didn't think long or hard about that choice, it's almost telling us it's not that important. And I'm not saying mom's not important if we're needing to call mom back, but that's not what I'm saying. My point is that when we start noticing what really isn't grabbing our attention anymore, we start realizing that's just not important to my life. It's not important to my goals. It's not important to where I'm going. So the awareness there is that not to get caught up in what you didn't do. The awareness there is to notice how little things are becoming less and less important to you. And there's a purpose for that.
I'm really hearing you on that one. That's very helpful.
Yeah. And so the bigger picture of what matters here, because when I get this Eight of Cups, like there can be emotional components to that. Like I always talk about people being our hardest attachments, right? Anything that has to do with others. And when we talk about that, and if certain people or certain communities or certain attachments that we have that are old, that we're just kind of feeling like this doesn't resonate with me anymore. Let that refocus you out of that scenario, or let that refocus you out of that misalignment because you're not even making a decision about it. It's just natural, it's
Yep.
organic almost.
But it does make sense that there would be that feeling like, well, but I should. I've always put my time there, or that is a long-term friend, or I've invested so much time in that. So I can see how people could feel that emotional attachment pull them back and not make them want to move forward there. So
That's a big one because the Eight of Cups to me, when I get that is part of this, there is the baggage to that. There's the emotional weight to it. The more and more you're paying attention to your energy and the more and more you focus on what your true alignment is, the more and more you're very aware when you do not want to be a part of something that's misaligned. Make
good.
sense? Yeah,
Yep.
good. Okay.
Totally.
So moving into the middle of this month, we have this Five of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and I love her. She's right in the middle. This is Taurus. This is
Ah,
her. She's showing up right in the heart of the reading. And then this Ten of Wands. Okay. So we are fighting her a little bit, I have to say. We're fighting her groundedness because this is like a push and pull energy to me. We have that Uranian energy that's happening a lot, which is fast change, change. It almost feels contradictory to be in this Taurus energy because it's contradictory energy. The only hint that she's kind of saying is I almost feel like she's the safety net. She's the safety net. She's saying, look, a lot of things are taking a priority now in the big picture. I almost feel like she is in support of this energy, which is kind of her thing too. She is kind of saying, I know the bigger picture is about this rapid alignment and change. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to act like this kind of safety net when things get really out of whack and we feel like we're really overwhelmed and burdened. Then I'm going to let you release into me, which she is kind of like the soft spot of saying, let's do something really slow for ourselves that contrasts this energy. Let's take a bath.
Mm.
Let's go for a walk. Let's listen to some really soothing music. So she's like, I got you underneath this all. Even though on the surface we're skimming along here, she's saying those little moments of time in May will replenish you. That's what she likes to do. So she has a very sensual energy to her because she is of the material of the senses. So let those moments in May, whatever those are for you, not just refresh you, but kind of just unload. It's where we unload that speed. Just let it unload there.
That's
So,
really
because the change is real, the quickness is real, and the juggle is real right now, right? It actually is the priority. The Queen of Pentacles, I love that she's almost acting like the rock. She's saying, amidst all this, there's always opportunities to slow down, even if it is for 5 minutes in your morning or 10 minutes before you go to bed. It is here and it will make a difference in this pace. So I'm going to bring up talking about the challenge for this whole month before we get to the end here, because there's always this kind of obstacle or block that we have to kind of work through or work with in a month's energy. And this one is the Hermit.
love that card.
You love that card? What do you love about it?
I always look at it as like taking the time to go within and allow yourself to keep the world at bay. And that's the good thing. Am I
Yeah,
right?
you totally interpreted that correctly. Yeah, it is
Okay.
a good thing, but it's in the obstacle right now. It's in the block.
Okay.
So here's what I'm picking up from that. This is where we have the reminder that we actually don't need to internalize our questions right now, our decisions, and the speed. Because the Hermit, I talked about this before, was all the work that we did last year coming up into right around the spring solstice when we were kind of moving into fire horse energy, really fire horse energy. And the Hermit is kind of a reminder here is this is why you did all this work. This is why you did all this work so that you aren't doing this deep dive of like, am I making the right choice? Oh my God, is this the right alignment for me? Are these little swift decisions that I'm making, like, am I sending myself in the wrong direction? Or are these really true for me anymore? Hermit's saying, whoa, wait a minute. We did all that work. We did that work last year. We did that work early this year. This is not to go backwards into that deep dive. That is not what we're here for in May. What we're
Okay.
here for is trusting that we did that. And so our movements, like I said, are intuitive. Our choices are intuitive. Our alignment of our energy to other people, other things, other projects, other ideas, they are now natural and organic and they're correct. We don't have
Okay.
to ask if they're wrong or right.
That's
We
really
know it.
got it. Can the Hermit card also be almost avoidance of emotion, avoidance of, because you were saying earlier, like, don't be afraid to ask the questions. And I think some of us are. And that's when we tend to go within and avoid and do all the things. Is that part of this in the Hermit?
Well, I think we can go into if it's at a severe, if I'm looking at the Hermit in a very low vibrational way, because that's kind of what it's coming across to me as, we can go into like massive shutdown. Oh, everything is moving so fast that it's not avoidant, it's almost freeze. They talk about like fear
Yes.
triggers, right? Is fawn, freeze, and flight. This would
Mm.
be freeze and fawn. So that would be when things are moving at that breakneck speed, we can go into that. Oh, freeze or fawn. I'm not going to
Yeah,
even move. And hopefully everything else kind of just works around me.
exactly. It does feel like that.
And the pace is real that we're supposed to be moving at now. And so I would remind everybody in this time frame, if we are even approaching a state of freeze or fawning, that we say, wait a minute, trust me. I trust me. I trust my alignment. I trust my gut. I trust my intuitive self. And I trust my immediate choice is accurate. Okay. Because that's the homework we did. We did it all. Like, we do not need to go backwards in that. And I think because it feels safe, and I think that's why it's on top of the Queen of Pentacles here, because that's also a safety net reaction. So if we're talking about the low vibration of this challenge, that's a safety net reaction to be like, oh, I just want to stay in my comfort zone. I'm going to stay here because
Yeah.
this, even though the world is moving so quick and I'm supposed to make all these decisions and these changes, it feels safer to just hunker down and pretend it's not happening. And so could be an avoidance to that, but I think it feels more of like a comfort zone, like a comfort zone to kind of say, oh, I felt better maybe even last year or earlier when I just could think about this stuff, when I can just ask myself the questions or even ask someone else the questions. And this isn't about safety anymore.
It's funny how this fire horse still keeps coming up and everything, right? Like it is that speed. It is that just go fast and almost hang on for dear life kind of thing because you're going somewhere. And to have the faith that you are actually going in the right direction and that everything within is guiding you. It's just when there's so much noise around you, it's hard to trust that.
It is hard to trust that. But the proper view, I think, on this and the proper thought process is to check in with your gut more than anything else if it feels aligned. Does this choice, does this person, does this project, does this risk feel aligned? And I think you'll know your answer very quickly if you just allow that to be the truth.
It's speaking to me because I think so often I am the type of person that just gets so caught up in the to-do list that I don't even allow myself to think about those things. I think many of us, especially when that energy around us is so fast and the shoulds and all the things that we think we're supposed to get done, we just don't allow ourselves to go within and even have that moment of asking, let alone trusting. So,
Yeah, don't go in within too much. That's
okay,
not what we want to do. That's the
right.
point. We do not want to do that. We want to trust that we were reorganized to a very fast moving, intuitive processing self because we did that tune up. We asked those deep questions last year. We asked those deep questions at the beginning of this year. And we said, okay, recalibrate me. The universe always kind of knows where we're headed. Our soul knows where we're headed. It knows what we needed to be in this breakneck speed. And I'm not saying there's like good or bad here because that's not the point. There's not right or wrong. It's about feeling in flow with your life to the point of we're not in resistance and we feel like everything kind of just aligns how it should be. So don't get overburdened with the changes, but also don't get overburdened with saying, oh, I didn't do it all, whatever it all is for whatever you're applying it to, because it's supposed to fall away.
All right.
All right. So the end here of the month, we have this Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. This is kind of a clear vision now. And now I kind of see why that alignment was happening in the beginning, like the juggle, 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 things were falling away. And now at the end of May, which we approach into Gemini season, which is air, it starts to look crystal clear. It looks so focused and decisive. And the whole point of, I think, this energy now that I see it is that the removal of things has cleared the path to exactly where you need to feel like you're in it now. It's the flow. So that Ace of Cups here at the very end is beautiful because now our heart is in it, which is where our flow comes from. Our heart is in it. It's not our mind. It's not the doing. It's not the structure. It's our heart now is in the flow of the path that has opened up. This whole month about May, even though like it's such an interesting energy for this to be in Taurus season, And the only thing I can say about why this is in Taurus season is because she's going to interject herself in these tiny ways to be like, I'm going to slow you down over here so you can have a little break. I'm going to give you that little moment of rest because I know that I just need to support this energy right now of the clearing of the path because now it's becoming extremely clear. And it becomes very clear from a decision making standpoint, looking forward, I think by the end of the month, that we're all in at this point. There's no changes, there's no decisions. It's just you're all in, you're in that flow. So, your heart now, when I talk about centered energy, it is almost like the decision to love this speed, the decision to love this flow, the decision to love all the choices that were intuitively made by you and for you. And now you can feel it and be in it. So that's the opportunity at the end of the month.
Wow. This story feels almost like we're coming into May, going through this whitewater rapids ride. Like we're just being carried and juggled and moved and tossed. And what you're saying is yeah, but you know how to navigate this. So trust that you're going in the right direction and that everything that you're going by is stuff that you don't need. And then when you get to the other side, you're going to be in this place of like almost calm, clear water and that's going to be where the flow is. It's just like taking the ride as you go through the month. Is that
Right. And I think even if, let's say we're using that analogy, like even if this pace of that river is fast, like
yeah.
you think about when if you were a kayaker, if you were someone who was navigating that, first it would be like, how do I navigate all these obstacles, right? How do I just get into the groove of this energy? And then at the end, you're like, oh, even as fast and hard as this might be, I'm in the groove now. Like I'm one with this river. I'm one with my kayak. I'm one with where I am in total presence,
Yeah.
even if it is fast.
And that Mother Nature's just kind of got you, right? Like that's the other part of it is trusting that you don't have to do it all, that you're being guided. You have universal support to get you there. That's the thing I always forget as I'm doing everything, to trust that it's not all on me to make it happen, that I'm being guided and helped along the way. So yeah, I think that analogy helps me because it sets the tone for the entire month and helps again understand the journey that we're on, but that where
Mhm.
ultimately it's going to take us to.
Right. So I think the overall statement I would say about May is that when I say intuitive choices now,
Mhm.
intuitive decisions, these are decisions from the heart, not the head. So you never have to ask.
Some things that we are continuing to learn how to do that.
Everyone is continuing to learn how to do it. We don't operate that way. We think we operate that way, but we do
Yeah.
not operate that way.
And yet, when you make those decisions from the heart, how good it feels,
It's
right?
aligned. That's alignment.
Such a difference in being like, all right, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, I'm gonna get what I need for dinner versus I'm gonna call my little grandbaby right now and just enjoy the heart decision versus the head have to decision and making as many of these as we can.
And then everything else either falls in or out of that wave or river or rapid. It's either going to be with you or not with you. But
Mhm.
it doesn't matter almost to a certain degree because that's literally what the universe wants for us. It wants us to live consistently in that space of true, authentic heart space alignment.
Wow. I think that's a really good place to end. That's beautiful. And again, I hope everybody listening and watching feels like I do. I feel like the sense of relief after listening. I know sometimes we're introduced to things that are challenges and you're like, oh, but I always feel like you always bring the story to a place where it's like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can navigate this because I know, again, like we said at the beginning, it's like I know the why. I know what is going to bring me. And the fact that when I come out of that whitewater rapids on the other side, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel like a good month and that we've gotten somewhere, which
Yeah.
always is a good thing too. Anything else? Any last thought?
I think the last thought would be is just don't overthink this month.
Okay.
Just don't overthink. Everyone's got a lot on their plate, I think, in very different directions, different ways, because changes are happening so fast. And the more we stop ourselves and like, oh, I really need to overthink this. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to make the wrong move. You are dropping out of that heart space decision.
Love that. Yeah. Hey, that's a wonderful thing to come through in the month of May. Even if we just practice more of that, that will bring us to a good space as well. Well, thank you for,
Yes. Last thing I'll say, this is, I
yeah.
actually just said this statement to a friend of mine. So I guess I'll say it here because it seems to apply is don't ask your mind what feels true. Ask your heart.
Oh, that is wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to write that down because I think that's like a good sticky note just to put on your computer or on your phone or wherever. Again, that's a good way to go through the month and learn how to do more of that, which I think all of us need to do. As always, such a gift, such a guide, such good wisdom.
Thanks,
So
Karen.
much,
Thank
honestly.
you. I love being here. Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
and tell people how they can find you.
They can just reach out to me at my email, m@mtnolan.com.
Very much recommend. Great birthday gift.
Thank you.
Or halfway through the year gift, because this navigation is what we all need and it's inspiring. So thank you. Until next time, we'll report back. We'll see how we feel after we get out of the Whitewater Rapids and to the other side.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be flowing down that river in June.
Oh, good. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Karen.